Today's webinar is about highlighting the technology, demos, products, and solutions that will be the focus at the SAPPHIRE Now and ASUG annual convention next week in Orlando. It'll give you a chance to refine your agenda to best meet your needs and the needs of your organization. We know that that convention floor is concrete and tough, and we want to save your feet as much as we possibly can. Speaking on today's webinar are Trish Harmon, who is the IM Solution Marketing for SAP America, Tom Halley, the Senior Director of Global Alliances for Savvis, Rick Spire, who is the Senior Marketing Manager for Business Critical Applications with Cisco Systems, and Peter Ainsley Hartwell, the Chief Technology Officer for Utopia Global. With that, we're going to start the presentation. Our first speaker today will be Trish Harmon with SAP. Trish, take it away.
Great, thanks, Terry. Welcome, everyone. I suppose I should set a little bit of a caveat here before I jump into my slides, and you can go ahead and pull up one of my slides if you don't mind, Terry. That I am actually only representing a portion of the content that's going to be shown at SAPPHIRE, as you might guess. I work in the information management portfolio part of our business, so I'm not going to be covering any of the HANA topics. However, I was just on a call this morning and someone said there's some 200 plus sessions that cover HANA, so you can certainly find lots of great HANA coverage when you need that. So again, my focus is going to be more on our enterprise information management portfolio. So I'm guessing you're waiting to get my slides up, Terry?
Bear with me, I'm having a small technical difficulty.
Okay.
You know, it never fails. My computer is not wanting to cooperate.
So I'll just kind of keep going here because I know we have time and I don't want to take time away from our other presenters. The first slide, when Terry gets there, that I'm going to talk about is just an overview of the actual session. So you have kind of a high-level view of what to expect once you arrive in Orlando. As many of you know, the event kicks off on, well, there's some pre-event stuff that's happening over the weekend. However, kind of the official start is Monday and Tuesday. Lots of registration happens on Monday. I would advise you, if you're arriving via the airport, to take care of your registration there to avoid the lines. You'll see lots of signs there, so just a little insider's tip. I would recommend getting registered. Monday, there's a partner summit that's happening. There's some orientation sessions. There's some ASUG pre-sessions that's happening, as well as some special interest activities that are happening on Monday as well. So if you're participating in those, please have a great time. From there, things kick off officially on Tuesday. And we kick off on Tuesday with the general sessions beginning at 9, and our co-CEO, Bill McDermott, will be speaking on Tuesday. After that, we break into all of our topics. So it's, as many of you probably know, it's run in conjunction with ASUG and SAPPHIRE Now. So there's lots of opportunity for you to explore all the sessions, all the types of products and solutions that SAP and our partners have as well. So Wednesday, things continue with a general session from Jim Hagemann-Snabe, our other co-CEO that will be talking, and then we'll finally wrap up with Hasso Plattner and Vishal talking on Thursday. And I know the keynotes, especially that one, the last one, is always highly attended. They're doing something a little bit different. The keynote's going to be in a very open area this year, so that should be a fun change as well. So that's kind of the high-level overview of what to expect. Any luck on the slides?
My computer is just now coming back online. Sorry about that. It just completely froze.
Okay, so this pretty colored slide, just, whoops, if you could go back to, please.
Sure.
Just so the audience could see what I was kind of talking to this slide. So this is just a high-level overview, again, of what to expect. It obviously does not break it down by session. So the next slide, if you've ever been to SAPPHIRE, you know it's very overwhelming and it's hard to figure out where to go. I'm going to point you back to where the HANA stuff and my stuff, actually the information management technology, is going to be. You're going to enter in the showcase area. You're going to want to spend a little bit of time in that showcase area, and then you kind of walk back. Our partners like Utopia are going to be in this middle area, and we're kind of way down by the catering. So you'll have to walk past the database and technology campus to get lunch. So make sure you stop by and see us down there. And I believe Utopia is not too far from our campus. So if we go to the next slide, I believe is an overview. So this is just kind of a snapshot. The thing I'm most proud of and most excited to share with you is almost all of our sessions are partner and customer driven. So anytime you happen to be on our campus, on the IM campus, you will be listening to a customer or a partner. We have 13 sessions that are focused on the information management portfolio, and for those of you that may not know what that means, that's data services, information steward, our MDG product, our content management stuff, the lifecycle management technology as well. So it incorporates lots of different things. And then, of course, there's always a flavor of HANA with what we do because we are the premier loader of HANA. So anyway, we have a great panel that's going to talk about data governance. We have Utopia that's going to be doing a session that I'll talk about here in a minute. We have microforums. If you remember what those are kind of the more interactive sessions. That's going to be led. One of them is going to be on, two of them actually are going to be on data quality, one from Cisco and one from National Vision. So just a lot of really great things. Coca-Cola is going to be there to talk about their MDG product. Cooper Tires is going to be talking about migrating their data. So lots of great sessions that are happening there. So if we go to the next, the other thing too that I wanted to point out in terms of ASUG, if any of you are planning on attending the ASUG sessions, be sure to check out the data governance SIG. We had a ton of sessions, and the great thing about that particular track up at ASUG is they're all customer-led. So we have great customer participation. So make sure you're hearing it from our customers and our partners and not from SAP. So it should be a really valuable time. If we go to the next slide, please. So these are each, and I don't know, Terry, if you send these out or not, but what I've done is I've included actually the specifics of kind of the content that we have. I did not intend on going through these in detail, but I just wanted to provide kind of this information. If you're doing agenda building or anything at this point, you can just look at the SIDs here, the session identification number, and try to find some of these sessions. So if we go to the next slide, I think maybe there's two slides that kind of look like this. Oh, I wanted to point out the session that we're doing with Utopia. Session ID 5526, if you're interested in that. It's going to be running twice. We're doing our demo theaters twice. And they have some great demos. I just went through it all with the Utopia team yesterday, and we are super excited about what they're showing, how they're showcasing our text data processing technology as well as our data services platform within a HANA environment. So some great stuff there. If we go to the next slide, Terry, I want to talk for a minute about what a demo theater is. For those of you that are Sapphire veterans, or maybe those of you that attended in Madrid, this was where we first, you've not seen this before, I guess is my point. We just launched these demo theaters last year in Madrid, which was, we do that in November. And they're 20-minute quick sessions, and we have, typically you'll see SAP or potentially a partner, and in our case, on our campus, it's going to be all partners, going to be talking and showing SAP's technology. And we've invited Utopia to come participate, and they will be showing the demo that I showed before in this type of environment. So it's very interactive. You'll get a lot of chances to ask questions and interact with them. So kind of a really neat environment to try, and we're really excited about launching these in Orlando this year. So it's always helpful to see kind of what some of these things look like. The other thing I wanted to bring up is our expert tables. If you're interested in actually seeing the technology, make sure you stop by our two expert tables, and the picture on the bottom is what they look like. We have one that talks about information governance and another one that talks a lot about big data. So we'll have some of our key staffers at that particular table, so you can go ahead and learn all you possibly can at that particular table. I think the next slide is an agenda. If you are interested in information management, you can send me an email, and I'm guessing my contact information is at the end. We have put together a sample agenda that we would be more than happy to send out to anybody that's interested, and you can just see things particularly by this track. You can do some searching and filtering on Agenda Builder, but we felt this was just a quick and easy way to take a look at all the stuff from an information management standpoint. So again, that's not anywhere online. We're just sending it out to customers. Social media, if you're active on that, there's lots of ways to stay involved and informed and contribute to SAPPHIRE Now. Again, this is just more for reference, but take a peek at it. If it's something you're interested in doing, we'd love to have customers, partners, and guests follow and participate in the active discussion. So I wanted to bring up a couple of fun things in the 10 minutes that I have. The first is, of course, our celebration night, which as you may know, is on Thursday night. They're doing something different this year. This is the first time that they've had, I think, a country flavor to it. And they have brought in Alan Jackson, Bonnie Raitt, and Martina McBride. It's on literally a revolving stage, and when one performer is done, the next one rolls around and comes in next. So if you are able to make your travel plans work to accommodate that, we think it's going to be a great time. And I think the final thing I wanted to bring up was something we're doing from our corporate and social responsibility team. And if you have a little bit of time and you're interested in supporting a great cause, you can volunteer for a really short time to help package some food. We're looking at packaging almost 300,000 meals that are going to orphans around the world. I believe there are two NBA legends that are joining. I don't know that they've officially announced who the legends are, but you can maybe rub elbows with a big NBA player if you are so inclined. So lots of opportunities for you to learn. There's some opportunity to have fun, and also, as this slide shows, some opportunity to give back as well. So we are very excited. We have some really great content, some new things on the show floor that we haven't done at a Sapphire before. Lots of great announcements coming, lots of great opportunity to network. So I'm really excited. It's been a lot of work for us, and we're really excited to finally share with our customers next week. So with that, I will turn it over to Tom Halley from SAPPHIRE.
Thanks, Trish, and thanks everybody for joining us today. Again, my name is Tom Halley. I'm Senior Director of Global Alliances for a company by the name of SAPPHIRE. If you're not familiar with us, we're a Gartner-ranked leader in data centers and hosting and cloud. We have partnered with SAP to provide hosting for HANA as an alternative to deploying on-prem. And I want to take a couple of minutes to talk about that today and then invite you to come by the booth at Sapphire and learn a little bit more. So Trish, if you wouldn't mind going to the next slide. If you all are familiar with HANA, you know that this is the most successful product launch in SAP's history. The numbers that I'm showing on this slide are a little bit dated. This is at the end of 2012, but at that time, SAP had sold HANA into 1,000 customers, both as a data warehouse tool and then more recently in support of Business Suite applications. However, customers that are deploying on-prem are running into a bit of a roadblock, and that's why out of those 1,000, only about 200 are live today. And that is that hardware itself is very specialized. It has a great deal of memory. There are specific designs that SAP has certified, and the vendors of those designs are seeing very long lead times for ordering. And then, of course, your IT staff needs to prioritize that implementation in your own data center. And so because of that, customers are looking at maybe 90 to 180-day deployment times and a pretty significant upfront CapEx expense just on the hardware, which is causing this problem that it's very slow to deploy, and once it's deployed, it's very inflexible if you want to grow your HANA implementation. So Terry, go to the next slide. So SAP reached out to SAPPHIRE in the last 6 months or so to come to market with an alternative to that on-prem implementation. And the reason that SAP selected us to do this work is that, first, we're a leader in managed hosting. This is Gartner's most recent MQ, just came out about 30 days ago. And if you're not familiar with our company, we have 55 data centers around the world, about 2.5 million square feet of raised floor. And we combine that with about 220,000 route miles of backbone fiber. So we're able to combine the network and the hosting to deliver HANA in a hosted environment, which shifts all of that upfront CapEx to OpEx and allows the solution to be stood up in 30 to 45 days rather than perhaps 90 to 180. Terry, next slide, please. So what we've done, quite simply, is taken the hardware designs that SAP has certified and stood them up in our own data centers and provided them to our customers in a hosted model. So in other words, over the term of a contract, you're simply paying by the month for the hardware and the network availability rather than capitalizing that up front. Now, SAP has certified designs from 7 hardware vendors. We have adopted 2 of those, HP-based for low-end systems and Cisco NetApp-based towards the high end, anything from what they call a small, 256 gigs, all the way up to the maximum 8 terabytes. And we are, I should mention, SAP certified globally to provide that hosting and cloud management. Next slide, please. So here's a picture of where we're providing hosted HANA. We are all over the world. As I mentioned, we have 55 data centers. Actually, this slide says 54. It's a little bit out of date. So we're all over North America, including Canada, and then notably in London and Frankfurt in Europe, and then in Singapore, Hong Kong, and Tokyo in Asia Pacific. So we have customers that are deploying single instances in one data center or taking advantage of those multiple data centers to do disaster recovery across geographies, or perhaps stand up multiple instances so that the data can be close to the user. Go ahead to the next slide. And so we've partnered with Utopia. We've been partnered for about 6 months now, and I want to make clear who plays what part. So SAP or Utopia sells the software itself, so you have the same sales relationship that you may already have with SAP or with Utopia. Savvis provides the hosting infrastructure, also available through Utopia. And then Utopia, of course, brings the deep expertise around HANA and data management, helping you set your strategy, design your implementation, and then actually deploy HANA for you. So Utopia is a one-stop shop in this regard. I'm happy to talk to you directly about it, or also invite you to just speak to Utopia about Savvis's hosting services. So next slide, please. And that's it. Here's my contact at the bottom of the slide, and I've also included Frank Dravis, who is Utopia's Director of Business Intelligence and HANA Services, and Frank can speak to you anytime about hosting services for HANA as well. And Utopia is going to be in our booth at SAPPHIRE, booth 1732. We will be demoing live hosted HANA, so you'll have an opportunity to take it for a spin and address any concerns you might have about performance in a hosted model. And then also, we invite you to set up a one-on-one meeting. You can reach out to either Frank or myself. We have a meeting suite adjacent to our booth, and we'd be happy to bring in technical and business experts to speak to you about how you might want to deploy this in your own environment. And so that's it, and I'll wait to the end to see if anybody has any questions. And thank you for your time, and let me turn the ball over to Rick Speyer at Cisco.
Okay, thanks. You can go ahead and advance the slide here. So we're an Onyx sponsor at SAPPHIRE. So we've got a fairly large booth there. It's a 30 by 40 booth. So and we had to have that big a booth so we could put everybody in there. So the messaging that we're really trying to implement here, and you may have seen it on some of the if you're a basketball fan, you may have seen it on some of the NBA playoffs that are going on right now, that Cisco is really the Internet of everything, or the Internet of things. So we're kind of the glue that kind of puts everything together. So all the way from the networking side, obviously, that we've been in for a long period of time, and into the server platform and into the application space now, we're kind of connecting all these dots together and making a full data center as we're going through this process. So go ahead and advance this. So again, here's our booth, and you can go ahead and advance this, and I'll kind of talk to it as we go. So our booth looks like this, and you'll see different pieces in here. So we have things all the way from the SAP HANA piece that we're certified on. 5 different of our platforms they're certified on, and we've got a spot in the middle here where we have our partners in here. Utopia being one of those, that they'll have their solutions that they'll be demonstrating there in the booth itself. We have a FlexPod in the booth. We have a V-Block in the booth. We have SAP Mobility in the booth around precision retail and around their Afaria product. And so we've got these different kind of spaces in here where we're looking at all these different items that literally connect all the solutions together. In the booth, we've also got a theater session that we're running through, and Utopia is actually presenting on several of those theater sessions as well, presenting their solutions and how we're working together as 2 companies. Okay, go ahead. So you can see again, here's the partners that we have in the booth. and again, they'll all be presenting their solutions as they go forward. Go on. So here's kind of the things that we're doing there. We have a customer dinner that we have planned for at Fleming Steakhouse for many of our customers that are working around SAP HANA and around the cloud solutions that we're working on. We have a networking session as well. The customer session is on Tuesday at 7 o'clock at Fleming's, and the reception, the networking reception, is from 6:30 to 8:30 on Wednesday over at the Hilton. Go on. So here's a little bit about that. So we have probably 25 to 30 of our customers. Chuck Robbins will be our executive VP, actually our senior executive VP on worldwide sales. Will be on telepresence with that, kind of kicking that thing off. And then we have several SAP VPs that are going to be there. Jeff Word, who's responsible for a lot of the SAP HANA pieces that are going out, and then Kevin Shu will be there as well. Go on. And then this is the reception we talked about. Again, this is just basically an appreciation for all the customers that we have to come and kind of work with us and just enjoy some drinks and some working with their peers while they're at the show. So here's some of the theater presentations, and I won't go into all these, but you can see all the different ones that we've got. Again, they're going to range from our intelligent automation software that is now being OEM'd by SAP to NetApp to HANA pieces that we're doing specific to around EMC, around again, all of our partners are going to be presenting. You can see Utopia down there. Frank Davis will be presenting from Utopia at 4 o'clock on Tuesday, and if you keep on going. Again, these are just more that we're doing. So you can see we have a pretty full theater presentation. And if you know who Michael Misbach is, he's written several books on SAP. He's a PhD in computer science, I believe. And he'll be there in order to kind of, from a book signing standpoint, to sign some of these books while we're in the booth. Come on. Yep, there he is, right there. Go on with that. So we also have rooms in here that we're using for videoing. So we're doing a lot of video work, while we're here. And a lot of these around our customers and around our partners that we'll be putting out on our website as well after the fact. Go on. So there's 3 presentations that SAP has asked us to do. One of them is the first one is a customer panel that is on Tuesday at 2:30. You can see that the customers that are in there, these are all customers that have installed SAP on Cisco our Cisco servers. eBay, EMC, has just moved all of their instances over to UCS as well. Metso Mining and Construction, they're a FlexPod customer, and then Blooming Brands is another HANA customer that we have. And then the next session that we're doing is around SAP software, basically maximizing investment on SAP software optimized Cisco solutions. And then the third one is actually with Savvis, who you just heard from. So we're gonna work with those guys. They're a good partner of ours, and Brent Julik will be presenting there on Tuesday as well. Fun. So we have 2 other sessions that we're actually working on as well. That is around our IT process automation. Again, SAP is OEMing that product from us, this really is around a lot of automating the processes that you have to do around SAP HANA as well. So that these 2 sessions will be scheduled, and they're scheduled on Tuesday and Wednesday also. And then again, we talked about we have Eric Lillestolen, who's one of our senior people in our business unit. He'll be presenting over in the EMC booth on some of the solutions that we're doing together with them. So this is a roundtable. SAP at Sapphire has sessions where they have meet your customers. So this is a customer Amerisource that that's using our IT process automation software. They're having a session on Wednesday as well that you're able to go over and meet this customer and kind of talk to him about his experience with the software and with SAP as well, so that you can kind of see how it works and what their experiences have been. And then again, so here are some other things. Again, you can tell that we're very partner-oriented, obviously. So VBlock in the VCE booth, they're having a VBlock party that we're co-sponsoring with them as part of our partnership with them. And then again, this is another program that we're doing with the VCE. It's a passport program to allow you to look at all the different solutions that we have, and you can see. I mean, VCE is a consortium of Cisco and EMC and VMware. You can see where the booths are there, and so we've got a passport program associated with that in order to give people the solutions that are oriented around that. So that's a little bit about what we're doing there. We're doing a lot, so I invite you to come by the booth and kind of see what we're doing, and again, look at the partners that we've got in there in order to kind of look through all the solutions that are available. Thanks.
Next we have.
Okay, thank you very much, Rick. Yeah. First of all, I'd like to thank Rick and Trish and Tom for joining us on this presentation. My name is Peter Ainsley Hartwell. I'm the CTO at Utopia Global. And I'd just like to take you through a couple of the things that we're going to be showing and be available at our site, at our booth. Our booth is number 1715, and it's actually directly opposite the Cisco booth at the conference, and just down the road from the SAPPHIRE booth. So we're all very closely partnered together, even at the show, so you don't have far to walk between the booths. The focus of what we're going to be talking to people about and showing people at our booth is going to be around predominantly 4 main areas: data governance, how to manage big data, data migration, and finally some stuff around data outsourcing. If you just want to move to the next slide, please, Terry. As you can see, the star is actually where our booth is, 1715. You can see Cisco there. SAPPHIRE is also in there somewhere as well. We have a number of demos and presentations happening. You can see on Tuesday we have one around harnessing the insight from unstructured text, and this is done using the SAP text data processing methodology, which Trish mentioned earlier. We have some stuff around SAP HANA, which will be at the Cisco booth, and that will be done by Frank Dravis. The unstructured text presentation will be repeated on Wednesday, and we also have some stuff around data to insights and how to deliver more to your business on Thursday at the Micro Forum PC 804. So I would invite you to come along and listen to those. We'll be talking about real-life scenarios and how this stuff can actually help your business. As I said, one of the focuses is going to be data governance. So we're going to be talking about how you can get data clean in your environment, how you can keep it clean, and how you set up a sustainable process to manage that. And we'll be talking about things like SAP's MDG, Information Steward, and specifically talking about stuff around enterprise asset management in this area as well. Next one, please, Terry. We're going to have a lot of stuff around big data. We know it's a bit of a buzzword at the moment. And we can talk about where it makes sense to use some of the tools that are out there. We're talking about some dashboards and analytics capabilities with HANA, things like Hadoop and unstructured data sources as well, and how you can bring them all together to enable you to make better decisions utilizing all of the information that you've got available within your organization, and a lot of the information that is being created outside of your organization, but which is pertinent to your organization, and how you bring that all together to help you make better decisions. So I think that's really a very exciting area in today's environment. Next one, please. And of course, we're actually going to be talking about data migration. A lot of people are still putting in SAP, they're putting in SAP HANA. How do you get the data out of your legacy systems and move them across into the new systems that you're putting in place? So we'll be able to show you how to use the SAP tools, data services, information steward, etc., to move data out of legacy systems and get them into your new ERP or your new HANA system as in business-ready format, ready to go with great confidence that you've got quality data that you can use to actually make quality decisions when you're running your business. Next one. And finally, one of the things we'll be talking about is around data outsourcing. So this is where we're partnering with people like Savvis, using the Cisco hardware, to actually be able to host the data processes in your organization, give that process over to us to actually manage for you, take some of that headache away around licenses, implementation fees, have people who are data experts actually doing that. And what will be interesting is all of the demonstrations that we're showing at SAPPHIRE are all run on a cloud-hosted SAP landscape. And that SAP landscape includes ECC6, it includes Master Data Management, MDM, it includes SAP's MDG, it includes data services, it includes some open text stuff for data archiving. So we've basically got a whole environment set up and hosted on the cloud. So when you see all of these demos, this is the sort of response that you can get from hosting a complete infrastructure for an SAP ecosystem. And all the demos are live, being run at our booth. They're not recordings or anything like that. So you actually be able to see real live performance that you could get if you decided to go down this path in your business. Next one, please. And as I said, I'd like to really thank Rick, Tom, and Trish for participating in this. I invite you all to come visit us at the booths. We are going to be spread around. As we said, we'll have some people at the Savvis and at the Cisco booth as well. So we'll be able to help you with any inquiries that you have around managing your data in your organization.